Welcome to Study Hall. I'm so glad you're here with us today. We're going to take a deep dive into something we all do every day sometimes without even thinking about it. Greetings. From a simple hello to more elaborate expressions, greetings are a universal part of human interaction. But have you ever stopped to consider how much a greeting can tell us about a culture's values, history, and social norms?
It's really incredible how much meaning can be packed into just those first few words we exchange with each other.
I know, it's like a whole world unfolds in that initial hello. So today we're going to unpack all of that and journey across languages and continents to explore how people say hello around the world. And believe me, you might be surprised to learn that even the word hello itself has a pretty fascinating origin story.
Oh, absolutely. The word we use so casually today actually evolved from exclamations used in Old High German and Middle English, like hello and hello. And those words weren't really greetings in the way we think of them today. They were more about grabbing attention, like calling out to someone in the
So
distance.
it was more like, hey, over here, than good morning, or how are you?
Exactly. More of a way to make your presence known.
So before hello took over the English language, what were people saying to greet each other?
Well, one of the earliest greetings was hail, which came from the Old English word meaning be healthy. So it wasn't just a casual hi, it was more like a genuine wish for someone's well-being.
That's so interesting. It's like each greeting was a mini blessing.
That's a great way to put it. It reflects a time when health was much more precarious than it is today. So expressing care for someone's health was a very meaningful gesture.
It makes you appreciate the weight behind those early greetings. And what about that word we hear in holiday carols, wassail? Was that a greeting too?
Yes, wassail was both a festive toast and a greeting, and it also conveyed that wish for good health. It comes from the Old English phrase wes hal, which means be in good health.
So you can really see how important well-being was woven into those early greetings. But how did we go from these heartfelt wishes for good health to a simple hello?
Well, the story of how hello became the standard greeting is actually quite fascinating, and it involves a little invention you might have heard of the telephone.
Okay, now that's a connection I
Mm.
wasn't expecting. Telephones and greetings. How are those two linked?
Well, before the telephone, there wasn't really a standardized way to answer a call. But when Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the telephone, came along, he suggested ahoy as the go-to greeting.
Ahoy. Like ahoy matey. That's hilarious. Was he imagining phone calls as some kind of nautical adventure?
It does seem a bit out of place, doesn't it? But remember, Bell was thinking in terms of the technology of his time. Ahoy was a word that was loud, clear, and already used for signaling over distances, so it made sense to him.
I can see the logic there. So how did hello end up winning the telephone greeting battle?
Well, that's where Thomas Edison comes in. He's obviously known for his inventions, but he also had a big influence on the adoption of hello. Early telephone directories and operator manuals, likely influenced by Edison, started advocating for hello as the proper way to answer a call.
So it was a combination of practicality and maybe a little early marketing savvy.
Exactly. And because telephone operators were the ones connecting calls back then, their use of hello really solidified its place as the standard greeting.
It's amazing how these seemingly small choices can have such a lasting impact on language. So we've talked about the origins of hello in English, but what about other languages? How do people say hello in different parts of the world?
Well, let's take a virtual trip around the globe and find out. In many Romance languages, for example, greetings are very closely tied to politeness, formality, and even the time of day.
That sounds intriguing. Let's start with French. Always a good choice for a touch of elegance. How do they navigate those hellos?
In French, the standard polite greeting is bonjour, which means good day. But then there's also salut, which is much more informal and basically translates to hi. It's mainly used among friends or in casual settings.
So it's about choosing the right greeting for the occasion. You wouldn't use a hammer to screw in a light bulb, and you wouldn't use salut to greet your professor.
Exactly. That's a great analogy. And that distinction between bonjour and salut really highlights how important social hierarchy and etiquette are in French culture. For example, if a student is greeting their classmate, they would probably use the informal salut. But when greeting their professor, they would definitely use bonjour to show that extra level of respect.
It makes sense.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
fascinating how much nuance there can be in something as simple as a greeting. What about Spanish? How do their greetings reflect their culture?
Spanish greetings are all about warmth and being specific. While they have hola for a general hello, they also use time-specific greetings like buenos dias, buenas tardes, and buenas noches, which mean good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, respectively.
I love that. It seems like such a thoughtful way to acknowledge the time of day and show respect for the person you're greeting. But I'm guessing there are also some regional variations within the Spanish-speaking world, right?
Oh, absolutely. Language is always evolving and adapting to different regions and cultures. So, for instance, in Argentina, you might hear "che que haces," which is a very casual way of saying, hey, what's up? And in many Latin American countries, greetings often involve a kiss on the cheek or a hug, reflecting their warm and welcoming culture.
Okay, so we've seen how greetings can be formal and elegant in French, warm and specific in Spanish. What about the more, let's say, efficient Germanic languages?
Ah, yes, the Germanic family. They offer a whole spectrum of greetings from the very formal to the ultra casual. And German, for example, hello, is the universal informal greeting.
Sounds familiar.
Of course, it's closely related to our English hello. But then they also have those wonderfully efficient time-based greetings, Guten Morgen, Guten Tag, and Guten Abend, for good morning, good day, and good evening.
So they cover all their bases with a mix of casualness and time awareness. Are there any unique regional greetings in German?
Definitely service, for instance, is a popular greeting in Austria and southern Germany. It's a versatile word that can mean both hello and goodbye. And then you have moin in northern Germany, which is kind of an all-purpose hey there that works any time of day.
I love those regional variations. They add so much personality to a language. What about Dutch? They're part of the Germanic family too, right?
They are. And they tend to keep their greetings pretty straightforward. Hello is very common. But they also use shorter informal greetings like hoi and hey, especially among friends. Then there's dag, which can be used as both hello and goodbye, kind of like service in
Yeah.
German.
So we've seen greetings that are formal, warm, efficient. Are there any cultures where greetings take on a more philosophical or spiritual dimension?
Absolutely. Slavic languages are a great example. Their greetings often reflect a deep-rooted cultural politeness and sometimes even integrate religious influences.
Ooh, tell me more about that.
Well, in Russian, the formal greeting is "Zdravia Joe," which is romanized as "Zdravstvuyte." It literally means "I wish you good health," and it's a very polite and respectful way to greet someone, especially if they're a stranger or someone you hold in high regard.
That's beautiful. It kind of echoes that Old English hail we talked about earlier with its focus on well-being.
It's true. It's like a linguistic thread connecting different cultures and time periods across history.
Yeah.
And then they also have the informal ha, which is romanized as privet, and it's more like our casual hi. But even in informal settings, Russians might use a time-specific greeting, like for good morning, if they want to be extra polite.
So even their casual greetings have this added layer of consideration. What about Polish? Do they have a similar emphasis on politeness?
Polish culture definitely values politeness, especially when addressing elders or people in positions of authority. Their go-to informal greeting is "cześć," but for formal interactions, "dzień dobry," which means good day, is the standard.
It seems like knowing the right greeting can be really important for making a good first impression. It's like a secret handshake that shows you understand and respect the culture.
You're exactly right. It's about more than just words. It's about navigating social norms and showing that you value the other person.
We've been focusing a lot on Europe so far, but what about greetings in other parts of the world? Do other cultures have greetings that connect to well-being or spirituality?
Absolutely. Asian languages are a great example. They often emphasize respect, social context, and hierarchy, and their greetings reflect those values in really interesting ways.
All right, I'm ready for a virtual trip through Asia. Let's start with Chinese. What's their approach to saying hello?
The most common greeting in Mandarin Chinese is "he thu," which is romanized as "enki," and it translates literally to "you good." It's actually quite similar to the Russian "oye" in its emphasis on well-being. And Cantonese, another major Chinese language, has a very similar greeting, "hu thu," which is romanized as "ni hu." The pronunciation is a bit different, but the meaning is essentially the same.
So you good seems to be a pretty popular sentiment across different cultures.
It certainly is. And what's really fascinating about Chinese greetings is that they often go beyond just saying hello. It's not uncommon to ask questions like "ho," which means "have you eaten?" as part of the greeting.
Wait, really?
Uh,
You just ask people if they've eaten as part of a greeting?
It might seem unusual at first, but it's very common in Chinese culture. It's not necessarily about inviting someone to eat with you, but more about expressing care and concern for their well-being.
That's actually quite sweet. It's like a built-in check-in to see how someone is doing.
Exactly. It's a subtle way of saying, I care about you and your well-being.
Okay, I'm really starting to appreciate the depth and nuance of greetings. So Chinese is about showing care. What about Japanese? Are their greetings equally thoughtful?
Japanese greetings are very focused on formality, politeness, and being specific with the time of day.
Sounds very structured. I'm all ears.
You're probably familiar with O, which is romanized as konnichiwa and means good afternoon, but they also have anurjuring, which is romanized as ohai gozaimasu for good morning, and sorar, romanized as konbanwa for good evening.
So no matter what time of day it is, they have a designated greeting for it. Do they have any more casual greetings they use with close friends, or is it always formal?
They do have more casual greetings, like romanized as ya, which is kind of like our hey, or romanized as dumo, which can mean hi, or even thanks, depending on the context. But you're right, Japanese culture really emphasizes formality and respect, so even simple greetings can change depending on your relationship with the person and the social setting.
It's incredible how much meaning can be conveyed in just a few words. So we've explored greetings in China and Japan. Let's hop over to Korea. What are the greetings like?
Korean, like Japanese, has a strong sense of social hierarchy, and their greetings reflect that. The standard polite greeting is uloyo, which is romanized as inyeonghaseyo.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
It is, but it's a very versatile greeting that's appropriate for most situations. Then there's the shorter informal aeron, romanized as annyeong, which is used with close friends and family.
So kind of like the formal and informal versions we've seen in other languages.
Yeah.
What about when answering the phone? Do they have a special greeting for that too?
They do. It's inya inga, romanized as yobaseo, and you'll only hear it in phone conversations.
Wow, so many nuances, like a whole secret language just for greetings.
It's true. And each of those nuances tells us something about the culture and how people interact with each other.
This is incredible. We've already explored so many fascinating greetings from around the world, but I know there's still so much more to discover.
You're right. There's a whole world of greetings out there waiting to be explored. Next time, we'll venture into the Middle East and Africa, where greetings reflect even more rich traditions and cultural values.
I can't wait to hear about those. Stay tuned, everyone, because our global greeting adventure is just getting started.
Welcome back to our global exploration of greetings. We've already made stops in Europe and Asia, and now we're heading to the Middle East and Africa, where greetings are often deeply connected to cultural values and traditions.
I'm ready to explore those regions. Let's start with Arabic. What's the most common way to say hello in Arabic-speaking countries?
In Arabic, the most widely used greeting is "lisso," which is romanized as "assalamu alaikum," and it means peace be upon you.
That's so beautiful. It's like a blessing you exchange with every greeting.
Exactly. It reflects the profound importance of peace and hospitality in those cultures. And the response is equally meaningful. Yiloyue, which is romanized as wa alaikum assalam and means and peace be upon you too. It creates a lovely reciprocal exchange of well wishes.
I love how much depth and meaning is packed into that simple exchange. Are there other greetings used in Arabic, or is it merely variations of Assalamu alaikum?
While assalamu alaikum is definitely the most common and universally understood greeting, there are other greetings used in Arabic, often influenced by regional dialects and levels of formality.
So what are some of those other greetings?
For example, you might hear uyes, which is romanized as mareba and is more of a neutral hello, or uasharela, romanized as alan wasalan, which translates to welcome.
Welcome. That's so warm and inviting. I can already picture myself being greeted with open arms in an Arabic-speaking country.
It really captures the essence of their hospitality. And of course, they also have time-based greetings like ushikia, which is
Wow.
romanized as abalakar for good morning, and onivia, romanized as masalakar for good evening.
So even with that emphasis on peace, they still acknowledge the time of day in their greetings. It's fascinating how these different elements are interwoven. Speaking of beautiful greetings, what about Hebrew? I know their word for hello, which is romanized as shalom, also carries a lot of meaning.
You're right. Shalom is much more than just hello in Hebrew. It holds that same weight of peace that we see in the Arabic, assalamu alaikum, but it's also incredibly versatile.
Oh, how so?
In Hebrew, shalom can be used for both hello and goodbye.
Wow, one word for both hello and goodbye. That's amazingly efficient.
It really is, and it speaks to the centrality of peace in Jewish culture and tradition. Of course, like any language, Hebrew has its more casual greetings as well.
I was just thinking that. What are some of the casual ways to say hello in Hebrew?
You might hear romanized as hi, which is just a simple hi, or G, romanized as manishma, which means what's up.
So even with the profound meaning of shalom, there's still room for those everyday casual greetings. I love how language can be both profound and lighthearted at the same time.
Absolutely. It's that beautiful blend of tradition and evolution that keeps language so dynamic and interesting. Now let's shift gears a bit and travel to East Africa, where Swahili has some of the most vibrant and engaging greetings I've come across.
Ooh, I'm ready for some Swahili. What makes their greetings so unique?
Well, prepare to be asked about your news. The most common greeting in Swahili is habari, which translates roughly to how are you or what's the news?
It's like a built-in conversation starter. I love that.
Yeah.
So how would you respond to Habari?
There are a few ways you could respond depending on your relationship with the person and how you're feeling. You could say Nzuri, which means good, or Salama for peaceful, or even Njema for well. It's all about expressing your current state.
So it's like giving a mini update on your life every time you greet someone. I
Yeah.
love how interactive that is. It's not just a pleasantry. It's a genuine inquiry about someone's well-being.
You hit the nail on the head. It's about acknowledging not just their presence, but their state of being as well. And Swahili also has a special greeting for showing respect to elders, shikamoo.
Oh yes, shikamoo. I've heard of that. Doesn't it literally mean something like I hold your feet in respect?
You're exactly right. While it's not directly translated as hello, it conveys deep respect and deference, especially when addressing older generations or authority figures.
It's amazing how greetings can go beyond just words and become gestures of respect. What's the appropriate response to shikamoo?
The response to shikamoo is marahaba, which means I accept your respect. It creates this beautiful exchange of acknowledgement and humility. It's a reminder of the importance of honoring those who came before us.
It's not just about the greeting itself. It's also about the response. It's like a carefully choreographed dance of politeness and respect.
That's a great way to put it. Now, before we move on from Swahili, I have to mention mambo. It's a super casual greeting often used by young people, and it basically means, what's up?
Mambo, like the song Mambo Number 5.
Ha! That's the one. While that song might be stuck in your head now, the Swahili mambo is actually more closely related to the Spanish ¿qué tal?
Interesting. It seems like even casual greetings can travel across continents and find their way into different cultures.
It's true. Language is constantly evolving, borrowing, and adapting. And speaking of cultures with unique greetings, we can't forget about indigenous languages. They often have greetings that are deeply connected to their traditions, values, and relationship with the natural world.
Yes, I'm excited to hear about those. We've talked about aloha before, but I'm sure there are so many other fascinating indigenous greetings out there.
You're right. Aloha is a great example of a greeting that encompasses so much more than just hello or goodbye. It's about love, peace, and connection, not just between people, but also with nature.
Like a whole philosophy packed into one word.
Exactly. And then there's Kia ora in Maori, the indigenous language of New Zealand. It means be well or good health to you, reflecting the importance of well-being in Maori culture.
I love how these greetings offer these little glimpses into the values of a culture.
They really do. And beyond aloha and kia ora, there are countless other indigenous greetings that are equally beautiful and meaningful. For example, in Inuktitut, which is spoken in parts of Canada and Greenland, they say u, romanized as anikuri for hello, and the Lakota people, a Native American tribe in the U.S., traditionally use hau for men and han for women as their greeting.
It's incredible how diverse and expressive greetings can be around the world. Each one seems to have its own special story and cultural significance.
That's what makes studying languages and culture so fascinating. From the ancient greetings of our ancestors to the modern slang we use today, greetings are a constantly evolving reflection of how we connect with each other.
This deep dive into greetings has been truly eye-opening. We've traveled the world, explored different cultures, and learned how people say hello, goodbye, and everything in between. It's amazing how such a seemingly simple act can be so rich with history, culture, and meaning.
It's been a fascinating journey, and there's still more to explore. We've looked at greetings from around the world, but what about our own personal greetings?
Now I'm intrigued. What do you mean by that?
Well, think about the greetings you use most often. What do they say about your personality, your values, and the way you interact with the world?
That's a great question. I've never really thought about it that way before. I'm eager to explore that more in our next segment. Welcome back to Study Hall. We've been on quite a journey exploring greetings from around the world, from the formal bonjour in France to the heartfelt assalamu alaikum in Arabic. We've seen how these simple words can reveal so much about a culture.
It's amazing how much meaning and history can be packed into just those initial exchanges.
Absolutely. And you've also got me thinking about our own personal greetings. How do the greetings you choose reflect our own personalities and values?
That's a fascinating question. It's like holding a mirror up to our own linguistic habits and seeing what they reflect back at us. For instance, think about someone who always goes for a casual hey there. What might that suggest about them?
Hmm. I imagine there's someone who values informality and approachability. They probably prioritize warmth and connection over strict social hierarchies.
Exactly. They're likely the kind of person who puts others at ease and fosters a sense of camaraderie. Now, contrast that with someone who always uses a very formal good morning. What kind of impression might that create?
I'd say someone who uses more formal greetings might be signaling a preference for structure and tradition. They might value professionalism and respect for authority, or simply feel more comfortable with a certain level of distance in their interactions.
That's a great observation. It's fascinating how even these small linguistic choices can offer insights into someone's personality and social style.
It's like each greeting is a subtle social cue, giving us a little glimpse into how someone approaches the world around them.
Precisely. And those cues can vary significantly across cultures. Imagine a society where physical touch is a really important part of greetings. A hug or a kiss on the cheek might be as common as a handshake in other cultures.
That's so true. I remember learning that in some Latin American cultures, greetings often involve a kiss on the cheek, even among people meeting for the first time. It's a beautiful expression of warmth and welcoming. But I can see how it could feel overwhelming for someone from a culture where physical touch is less common in greetings.
Absolutely. It highlights how even something as seemingly simple as a greeting can carry a lot of cultural weight. What feels natural and polite in one culture might be perceived very differently in another.
It's all about being mindful and respectful of those differences when in Rome.
Do as the Romans do.
Hmm.
Exactly. Learning about the greetings of other cultures not only helps us avoid those awkward social missteps, but it also allows us to connect with people on a deeper level. It shows we're making an effort to understand and appreciate their customs.
It's like unlocking a secret code to better navigate different cultures and build those meaningful connections.
And who knows, you might even discover some hidden gems in your own language. Remember that Old English hail we talked about earlier?
Oh yeah, I love that one.
It might sound a bit old-fashioned now, but there's a certain beauty in its simplicity and heartfelt wish for well-being.
It really is like a little linguistic time capsule connecting us to the values and traditions of our ancestors.
And even those modern greetings we use every day, from a casual "what's up" to a sincere "how are you doing," they all tell a story about our evolving social landscape. The way we greet each other reflects how we connect, how we build relationships, and how we navigate this whole complex world of human interaction.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive into greetings. I never realized how something so seemingly mundane could be so rich with history, culture, and personal significance.
It's a great reminder that even the smallest details of language can reveal fascinating insights into who we are and how we interact with the world around us.
So to all our fellow lifelong learners and curious minds out there, the next time you greet someone, take a moment to really appreciate the power and the complexity packed into that simple act. Who knows, a simple hello might just be the start of an incredible journey of discovery. Thanks for joining us in the study hall.
And until next time, may your greetings be filled with warmth, respect, and maybe even a little bit of wonder.